Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of episode 10 of the For Real Movie Club. This month we are doing thriller movies, and we're going to continue along after Misery in the first part. Right now, part 2, we're going to talk about The Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme. This is the follow-up to the movie Manhunter, although not technically a follow-up because it's really not in the same continuity, but Manhunter is based off of the book Red Dragon, which was the first book written by Thomas Harris. This is the second book. Then the third book later on would become another movie, which actually would keep continuity. And then they'd go back in time and do Red Dragon, which it gets a little confusing. And then you throw in the Hannibal Rising, and you throw in the Hannibal TV show, and basically, let's put it down this way. Watch the Anthony Hopkins stuff, watch the TV show, skip Manhunter, don't see Hannibal Rising, apparently.
Fair enough.
Hannibal Rising is probably the worst movie in terms of franchises that don't really... When they try to stick something to... Don't watch it. It sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
So, Caroline, I'm going to pass this over to you again. Give us a little breakdown of Silence of the Lambs.
All right. So Silence of the Lambs is about this FBI trainee, Clarice Sterling, and she actually has to get the help from this big serial killer who's been in a prison for the criminally insane, to catch another serial killer whose victims have been found not only dead but missing parts of their skin.
It's kind of creepy, isn't it?
So badass.
This is, there are, out of the 4 movies that we are doing for this month, I own 2 of them, love 2 of them. Silence of the Lambs is one of them. I don't remember how I first got into the movie. I'm pretty sure a buddy of mine suggested it when he was getting really into studying films and stuff. But Silence of the Lambs is a movie that I think is one of the only horror films that I could actually suggest to anybody as just, this is a good movie. It's odd in a way. It's not really scary to me, although some of these aren't necessarily. I mean, thriller movies aren't the same as horror movies, so obviously that's a difference, a huge difference between them. But something like Silence of the Lambs should be scarier to me than most horror-y kind of thriller movies too, just because of the fact that they deal with really dark themes of, cannibalism is something that's real. It's not some supernatural person hunting you down. It's a literal doctor who knows how to gut you and will, as the big important scene is, eat your liver with some fava beans and
some nice Chianti.
Yeah, Chianti. And I don't remember what his name is. The actor's escaping my...
Anthony Hopkins?
No, not him. This other actor. The one who was Peterman on Seinfeld. I can't remember. He hosted
I forgot his name.
Yeah, he hosted an edition of Family Feud for a couple of years and stuff. But he said one time that what used to piss him off about Silence of the Lambs is how he says Chianti instead of Chianti.
Yeah, he walked out of the movie when he mispronounced that.
Right. Such an odd thing to take offense to, where it's like, that's
right.
the...
He was shitting his pants, and he decided to leave because of that. And then he pretended to be macho. Like, come on, really, grow a dick. No, just watch the movie.
So, Silence of the Lambs is one of those movies where they, like I said, they deal into a lot of dark, different themes. And what I think is really cool about it is it's not about Hannibal Lecter as much as it is about a couple of different characters. And Hannibal would totally just go, Hannibal's the cool guy, let's do a whole thing about him and stuff. And obviously the whole series revolves around Hannibal Lecter. And if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have a TV show called Hannibal. You would have a TV show called Clarice or something. But the criticism that
explains it all.
Yeah. That'd be a weird mashup, wouldn't it? She turns out to do that because she's already been used to people breaking into her room every night, so she's used to the horrors of breaking and entering and stuff. Tries to amp it up a little bit more.
Yeah, and the intro to the show would be these lambs screaming. That's her dream.
It's funny that you mentioned intro, though. I have a note that I didn't realize until rewatching it this time. The opening credits just seems like a television show nowadays to me.
Yeah.
Like something that you would see in Law and Order.
Or X-Files.
Yeah, X-Files. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, definitely X-Files.
I
Yeah.
saw a lot of Scully. I swear to God, I saw a lot of Scully and Clarice.
See, I
Maybe.
wasn't big on X-Files, so I don't know too much about her character itself.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
No,
Really?
yeah, it does bring a lot of Scully. That's true. Like even, but also like it's a lot to do with like hairstyles and the way they dress with the shoulder pads. But she definitely has some Scully in her as a character.
Does
I mean, it's
Gillian
all early
Anderson talk
stages.
like she's got shit in her mouth, like
No,
Jodie Foster does?
That was just Jodie
Stop
Foster
it! Leave her
doing a southern.
alone.
Oh, you
No,
know
I
that
thought
that's
her.
true though. She talks like that
I
throughout the
don't.
whole movie. She's like Doctor Lecter, Doctor
But
Lecter.
like, I don't know. I don't know a West Virginia accent. I don't know how a West Virginia accent is supposed to sound like in God knows what town. So maybe she did pull off a perfect kind of southern but kind of hillbilly thing. But
Maybe
te-
that's one of my other criticisms is I can't stand her voice in the movie. You know, the whole like lambs.
Oh my god.
We'll have some more things to make fun of the way people talk later when we start talking about Buffalo Bill and stuff. But
Oh.
first thoughts when you had watched this movie the first time, and if you rewatched this, of course, what are your thoughts rewatching it, Eddie?
huh? This is okay. This is one of those movies that time and again I mention the there's a certain quality to good Hollywood production that sometimes happens by accident, or sometimes it's meant to be, or for whatever reason, a movie stands out and remains that way for as long as there will be cinema. And Silence of the Lambs is one of those. I mean, I find it to be one of the greatest movies in the history of Hollywood because not only are you dealing with a subject matter that's unusual for an appealing movie, and yeah, Tony, like you said, you'd recommend this not as a horror movie, but as a good movie, regardless of genre. And you're dealing with psychology on such a base level that's it's hard not to. And I think it's psychology for I would say for dummies. Like what is the movie really about? It's about the loss of identity, trying to find one's own identity. That's what Buffalo Bill is about. He's trying to find who he wants to redefine who he is, and he's hoping that by impersonating a woman, wearing a woman's skin, will turn him into something more acceptable, at least in his point of view. Uh, so you're dealing with such a strange subject that at the same time it's kind of like I don't know. I think it's the psychological equivalent of that what Cosmos is to sci-fi, although it's not really fiction. Or Star Trek is to sci-fi. I mean, it's appealing, it's easy to understand, and I think that's the whole thing. Because a lot of people talk about this movie, but they don't really realize just how intense it becomes in the profiling.
What about you, Caroline? First thoughts?
Sorry, just point out this movie's from 1981.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's all about CSI and whatever else. But back then, there wasn't much going on in this area.
No, and you could argue that this movie probably got a lot of those people interested in that to begin with.
Oh yeah, totally.
And probably got a lot of other people interested in the opposite side of things. What about you, Caroline? First thoughts when you had first seen this?
What do you mean opposite?
That's why I'm introducing Caroline.
Oh, proceed.
Did this get you into the idea of cutting people up?
Well, it wasn't my first, dive into that pool, but definitely like reflourished some of my passions and hobbies. I love that movie. It's really cool. I've read the book, watched the movie I don't know how many goddamn times. I think that it's just we all have this morbid curiosity. Even you, Tony, who does not like horror movies, it's normal. We all think about death in every single level, and one of the levels is killing others. And it's awesome. We have the serial killer Hannibal Lecter, who the way in the book, the way that he's written in the book is as if he's the personification of evil. In the book, he actually even has 6 fingers on his left hand. And that is one of the symbols. I think it's like from early ages, like medieval times until like maybe, I might be wrong, like 18th century. But if you had an extra finger in your left hand, you were considered to be evil. Like you had
in Tennessee, you're still evil
Really?
nowadays. Yeah, sure. Texas too, Montana, Utah.
Wow. Well, there you go then. That's still a thing. But and he actually Thomas Harris, who wrote the book, he makes a big point when he's describing him that he is a demon in a human body. Like his teeth is smaller than normal people. He has really penetrating eyes, which Anthony Hopkins did an awesome job of capturing that. And the fingers situation, just how his body is built, all of that is, I think his eyes are even like maroon towards red in the book. So he's like, the way he's described, it's like, okay, this person is not just a person. There's something going on inside. And in the movie, we get that sense because, one, the camera goes really close to him, like frighteningly close. When we see a Freddy, when we see a Jason in a horror movie, the camera normally stays away because they don't want the audience to connect to those characters. We want to stay away from them because they're bad and evil. But with Hannibal, the first scene we have with him, like the camera goes really close to his face, and he's just staring into the camera, and he can smell Clarice. He knows things about her in a way that even if he was a brilliant psychiatrist, there is no way of knowing. So we get him as being this evil, this know-it-all, see-it-all, evil creature, not even a man. And that's pretty amazing. I think that between him and Buffalo Bill, like Buffalo Bill is kind of like the intern serial killer, and he's like the CEO or president or something like that.
The serial killer club.
You never know.
Sounds like something that should be on the box of Lucky Charms or something.
Get your free little knife with blood inside.
Right.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, and I also feel like the movie's a lot about his relationship with Clarice. Like the books are certainly they explore that. In the book series, he actually ends up with Clarice.
Much better ending than in the movie.
Well, yes, but I don't think that most people will like that.
When I had heard that, the ending wasn't, and spoiler alert for people that aren't watching Hannibal yet, in the movie Hannibal, he chops his own hand off to escape the police and everything, and doesn't end up with Clarice. And I liked it better when she ended up with him, because it was like, well, at this point, like, Anthony Hopkins is a charming motherfucker for a person who's a complete madman.
No, I agree 100%. But I just feel like it's something Hollywood would never do, because in the book, for her to end up with him, he actually continuously drug her. So she forgets about everything in her past, and she kind of becomes like a zombie almost to him. And that's how they end up together. They move to, I believe, Argentina, and he dyes her hair like very blonde, so she becomes like his little doll. And if you went, like, I would totally watch a movie like that. I feel like that would be awesome. But I can't see like so many females being so upset, and I don't think Hollywood would go for something like this. It's not that commercial. But yeah, that would be awesome. And I mean, the whole entire movie, I kind of just want them to get it on and have him like eat her as he's like fucking her. That would be amazing. That would be like Caroline porn, but I knew it was not gonna happen. And then we have Buffalo Bill, who teaches little boys how to tuck, and I thought that was awesome. The first time I watched it, I didn't even know that was possible. I forced my little cousin to do it to see if it actually worked. That's horrible, but
Hey, Tony, remember that time when you said this might be used in court?
Yeah, this is more and more evidence. See, what Caroline doesn't know is I'm actually commissioned by the FBI to do this podcast to get evidence.
Oh, really? Hi, Clarice. Hi.
Oh, it's okay.
It's funny. I don't remember when I learned how to tuck. I think it was way before the movie. But
Well,
yeah, it
you know,
was
but
before the movie.
you have a penis. I don't. All right. Nature already tucked me, so I can't explore that art. I'm sorry that
Dace
I'm a
is
girl.
kicking himself for not being on this podcast.
No. Yeah, no. I saw the movie. I first saw the movie when I was 14, so I think I know how to tuck already for sure.
I mean, it's an instinct. People know.
I mean, it just happens, right? It's like you're like, hello. It's like funny.
Oh, yeah, you know how to tuck.
Something on the positive side of things, not on the skill level of tucking, but when it comes to Academy Awards, I mean, we keep mentioning how this is just a legitimately good movie. I mean, this was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, which is very rare for a movie with this kind of tone. And it won every one that it was nominated for, except for two of them. It missed out on Best Sound Mixing and Film Editing, which, of course, very, very important things. But at the same time, when it comes to most people's views of the Academy Awards, they're like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Film editing,
I
sound
care.
mixing.
I
But,
care.
you know, that can make or break a movie. And the next movie we talk about is going to be a huge one where we talk about editing. So we'll get back to that.
That's true.
But it did win. Anthony Hopkins won for Best Actor. Jodie Foster won for Best Actress. Ted Talley won for his adaptation of the screenplay. Jonathan Demme won Best Director. And, of course, they won Best Picture, which is, like, unheard of for a movie like this.
That's
And
true.
really hasn't been heard of ever since then, either.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, and also the American Film Institution ranks Clarice as being the sixth greatest film hero out of 50.
Number
and I think
six?
she,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
and
going
she,
too far, I think.
no,
Who's number
it's
one?
not. No, it's not.
Skywalker.
She's cool, guys. Stop it. And she's the highest
No,
ranked
nothing against
female
it.
on the list. You don't know the first one's like, I haven't done it. And Hannibal Lecter is the number one greatest film villain, which I mean, I like.
Darth Vader's the number one.
Yeah, see, I'd
Okay,
put
you
Hannibal-
guys are just geeks, all right? He is number
This is Fanboys
one.
Anonymous. We're all
He's he is pure evil. He can look
No, he's
into your
not.
soul.
He's just a psychopath. It's pure and simple.
Okay, nobody's just a psychopath, okay? That is just like not cool. No. He is beyond that. He's like, oh, he's
There's no
awesome.
such thing as evil. Everything is based on psychology or pathology.
See, I think Hannibal
Okay,
deserves
but that's
to
real
be...
life. We're talking about a character in a movie and a book. Who is
In
described
that movie,
as
he's
pure
just a
evil?
psychopath.
He's not.
He's an
You're
old
talking
teddy
about
bear.
the book. I agree.
He's
in the
not
movie,
just a
just like that.
psychopath.
He's also a talented painter, and he's also...
Yes, he's also an inventor, a sculptor, a perfume.
a perfume enthusiast.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that, yes, maybe like Buffalo Bill is just a psychopath. I just feel like he is portrayed as much more than that in the movie. And that's why he's such a great character.
That's why I would
Buffalo
argue
Bill,
that...
Buffalo Bill's not necessarily a psychopath. I think his is more of a. His is a psychological trauma.
See, I would argue that Hannibal
No.
Lecter's almost an anti-hero.
Yeah, in a way.
So that kind of disqualifies him a little bit from being number one.
Exactly.
Shut up.
No, it totally disqualifies him. Completely disqualifies him.
And Clarice, if you were going to do a list of specifically the best, like, female heroes, I could maybe put her up there, but heroes in anything, I mean, we've got far too many, I think, that Clarice wouldn't even be in the top 50.
No. You gotta realize something. She was an FBI agent in training. Okay, she's a woman in 1991. That goes a long way.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's Yeah, instead of just going the Manhunter.
Her performance was great. I thought, despite the weird guy in West Virginia kind of accent, despite that, it was flawless. I mean, she did a great job, and she still, you could tell, dude, her performance in Shaking when it was dark. I actually believed it. I was like, oh my god, she seems genuinely terrified, and but at the same time, she didn't lose her femininity, and she tried to. I mean, she still acted tough when you could tell she struggled, but the struggle was far too real. Like I thought it was great.
Good job
I don't know.
defending that. That was good. You turned me around on that idea.
Yeah.
You mentioned AFI though. AFI also picked one of the census takers who once tried to test me, the Five Beans line, as the number 21 best movie quote of all time. Definitely up there. That line's awesome. Nominated for it is, but it didn't make the list of the top 100. Is one of the final lines of the movie. But I'm having an old friend for dinner.
All right.
When I first saw this movie, I love puns. It's like my favorite type of comedy, and I laughed hysterically at that line. It's so good. There are a lot of lines in this movie that I love. Those two aside, one that's fun as hell to do, impressions of and stuff, and a classic line that they've made fun of on South Park and they've made fun of in pretty much anything is the whole, it puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. And then,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Cartman does something. With
yeah.
That.
The best part about it is the whole, put the fucking lotion in the mask.
No, dude. Okay. This is sadistic for my part, but when she started screaming, when she sees the claw marks and the claw marks, the scratches, the bloody scratches. Yeah. She's like, and he's like, I was like, oh my god, that's
It's so
funny
funny.
actually. It's weird. I thought it was funny. Like, yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to laugh
just
at
a
this stuff
movie,
at all, but everybody laughs at it. So
No, but that guy, he pulled off a good. His portrayal was good, and you see how his composure changed when Clarice met him. He was like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, hi, yeah, sure, come on in."
oh, big
Like
old fat
he
boy,
wasn't
right?
that more, he put up his guard. He put up his social guard. But it's still kind of flawed. That's how you know the guy's. That's how you know he's not just your psychopath. It's a psychological issue. It's pathological. But Hannibal, on the other hand,
We're
can
just gonna agree
function.
to disagree on that point.
No. If you look at this, is textbook, like complete psychopath. A guy who functions perfectly normal within social parameters, but knows how to calculate and manipulate the situation so he'll never get caught. That's what he does.
So
Buffalo Bill's
I'll
kind of
disagree on that, but that's fine.
that'll round out like the casting side of things. I think we mentioned music. What do you guys think about that from this movie?
I like the 80s pop kind of thing. I thought it painted more of it painted a profile picture. It shows that the guy, that Buffalo Bill guy, um, is still very much in touch with some sort of emotion. He wants to feel good, and the music while he performs his weird,
Yeah, goodbye horses.
self-gratifying, his weird self-gratifying stuff proves that I don't know. The music has a giant role in setting the tone.
Definitely, that's got
Uh,
to be the
Yeah.
number one song when it comes to the movie.
yeah. Plus, I love the Jay parody in Clerks 2.
Oh God. Yeah.
I was like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me hard.
Yeah, but I can't watch this movie and not think of Jay doing that. So that's really
Right.
funny.
Yeah, Clerks 2 kind of ruined that scene a little bit.
Yeah, fuck. Plus, the song is really cool. I never looked up the band. I gotta look up that song. It's a pretty cool song.
What do you think
It's
about
all
the music,
weird.
Caroline?
I like it. I mean, I definitely like that scene where he's dancing like super epic. I also like the tones that they set up where we have like the aerial shots when Clarice and Agent Crawford are going to one of the scenes where the body was found. It's awesome. I didn't read on all the awards that it won, but I'm still like kind of shocked that it didn't win for editing, because the editing was pretty cool too. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry, I was reading like trivia right here. But yes, music was awesome. I don't understand a lot about music, obviously, but I like it. It didn't take me out of the movie at any time. It just like made it just helped. Just I feel like what it should do for that one. So it was cool.
Yeah, just a little addendum to that. As yeah, the music did its job. Aside from the soundtrack quality to the specific bands playing during the serial killer scenes, but also just to point out something, the sound editing would never win an Oscar because it wasn't the best. And for instance, the very first dialogue, you can already hear it's not very good because it sounds so studio. It sounds very like, because I've worked in this in Foley and dialogue and ADR, so you can tell they're in a studio, not outside when they do the voiceovers. Where it's like, hey, Clarice Crawford wants to talk to you on the phone. And she says like thanks or something. The dude just kind of like,
She says, hold on, I
I
need my
could
toothbrush
tell.
first.
I could tell, and I was like, oh man. But I mean, it's something I've even noticed that in Jurassic Park, for crying out loud. So I mean, it's just me coming from that kind of background. I noticed these kind of little mistakes, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's the
hard. It's
opposite
hard to do.
from.
It's really really hard to do like perfect ADR throughout a whole movie. It's really hard, and movies that win for that award for that category, it's no
No easy
trust me, it's
feat.
no easy feat. Yeah.
So general discussion kind of stuff. Anybody want to throw some stuff out there? I'll throw one thing out first. I would say my least favorite part of the movie is the end fight, the whole sequence in the night vision. And it's not for me disliking it. It's just if there's any point in this movie where I put it on TV. It's middle of the day and they're running it, and I have it on in the background. If I tend to shut it off, it tends to be at that point. My favorite parts are obviously the scenes with Hannibal, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something about that that's kind of just. It's not that it doesn't sit well with me for like the tension, because the tension's great. I mean, that's perfect. Like Eddie had mentioned it before. You can see genuine fear in her eyes, and you can feel the anxiety and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's just the least enjoyable scene, I guess I could say, for me. But I definitely love the Hannibal stuff. That's why I could eat up watching the TV series, which is just full blown Hannibal being awesome. What about you guys? Any favorites and least favorites and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm with you. I love the scenes with Hannibal. I like his interaction with Clarice. I really like the scene where they all go to the autopsy on the body that they dig out of the river. They get it out of the river. And just one trivia on that scene, apparently, they use, like, for the cocoon that they found in the girl's mouth, they use this prop made out of Tootsie Rolls and gummy bears, so that if somebody swallowed it, it wouldn't be a big deal. So that was pretty cool. My least favorite scene, I mean, I guess it's not even like because it's a least favorite scene, it's just because I hate Dr. Chilton so much. I just like, oh my god, he reminds me of some of my doctors. I just want to like kill him. And so like any scene that he's just being an asshole, I just want him to go suck a dick. But it's not because I don't like the scene. It's just because Dr. Chilton is just, he gets in my nerves. But he's an awesome character. He just gets in my nerves.
You like that scene where Hannibal's in the prison cell, but he's all strapped up, and Chilton's laying down in his bed and everything.
Yeah, and just being an asshole. Like, what an asshole. You just think you're so full of yourself. It's just, ugh. Ugh. He's a despicable human being. But not because he's a good character. Like, in the book, too, like, I just wanted to kill him all the time, but it's okay.
See, I would argue he's more of a villain in the movie than Hannibal.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I think like,
You're happy
because
when
we
Hannibal
like
breaks
Hannibal,
out.
yeah. But Tilton, he's such a slimy, opportunistic asshole with crazy hair. You just want him to die. I hate him. Sorry, I just get really passionate. I just don't like him.
What
But
about you, Eddie? Are there any favorites or least favorite scenes from the movie?
There are a few favorites, and I think just one scene I didn't like. Let me get that out of the way. It's that, yeah, where Dr. Chilton or whatever is laying on the bed. But I'll tell you why. I don't care how many years you've been on the job and how slack you've become. You don't forget a pen in the jail cell of a man who can turn a fucking who's MacGyver. You know the guy's like fucking MacGyver. You don't just do that. I thought that was really unrealistic, and they could have done something better. I
So what
don't care
about
how full.
favorites?
I don't care how full. I don't care how full of himself that Dr. Chilton was. I thought it was really unrealistic, and something better could have come along in his escape. Um, Maybe one of the guards, when he was in that big, I guess, gallery, could have got some sort of slack. But even then, it was unrealistic. Okay, I guess there's two least favorite parts. Why would he set the food down so? It was really careless on the cops. I don't know. And then the editing was bizarre during the scene when he goes to bite the other guy's nose after he locks up one of the cops, because you nowadays I'm pretty sure you'd have a stunt guy like totally kicking the door and then locking the other guy at the same time. You'd see a fluid sequence. But back then, they had to edit it and make it so that it would kind of work, and I don't think it worked very well. Watch that scene again, you can see what I'm talking about when he subdues the guards. Apart from that, honestly, Tony, dude, that scene in the dark is like that sounds really bad right now. Hang on. Uh, that scene with the night vision goggles is, I mean, to me, that just proves just how amazing Jodie Foster was in that role. And what's funny is that originally the director didn't want Jodie Foster, he wanted Julianne Moore, who he actually got in Hannibal. I might be wrong on that, so you're gonna have to look up the trivia for me. And another good scene is when Clarice first meets Hannibal, and again, Jodie Foster, hats off. Everybody talks about Anthony Hopkins, and I agree he did a great job, but the scene where Clarice first goes to talk to Hannibal is you can tell she's trying to keep her composure, but it's not possible. She's kind of breaking.
Yeah, quid pro quo, right? Can't have a great performance from Hopkins if you don't get a good one from Foster too.
Yeah.
Good way to tie that into there. So final thoughts and your rating 0 to 10, Caroline.
I would say, oh man, that's hard. Man, I feel like okay. I'll give it a 9, just because I really love Hannibal, and I really enjoyed the books, and I got very depressed when the books ended, and I had no idea what to do with myself. So I'll give it a 9 for emotional reasons.
What about you, Eddie?
I'd give it an 8. It's definitely a Hollywood masterpiece. Um, in terms of overall production, it is great, but not the best. But there's nothing bad to be said about anything at all in this movie, except for the little nitpicking that they did with some of the realism and all that. But otherwise, it's a great movie, very good movie, and deserve the Oscars. And I recommend it
Very
any day.
much agreed. I'm going with a 9 myself, and go watch it. And go check out the TV show, too, because the TV show is awesome. And it's going to be coming
Yeah.
back soon. We're going to get Red Dragon this time around. They just announced Richard Armitage is going to be Francis Dollarhide. So that should be cool.
Hopefully, hoping for nude scenes.
Hopefully, if we do get nude scenes, it's the girl that played, what's her name in it? Alana Bloom. Give me that
Oh no,
instead.
fuck her.
That's kind of the point, isn't it?
Well, okay, you go fuck her. I just want Dollahide's ass on my TV.
All right, guys. Next part's not going to have Dollarhide's ass, but it's going to be Memento. So click on part 3 if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on iTunes and Stitcher, just sit tight and we will roll on.